I don't think that's exactly how it works. But on that note, my guess is we probably went to Facebook right as you said, and I reached into the butthole of the chicken. Because I think we're on. Are we on? Let's see.
I'm excited to see what Bert has in store for us today.
I got articles linked here for 3 of the stories. Because it's been a big week in just baseball news. Lot of interesting stories. Did you hear about the high school team that beat the other team 82-0? No. All right, I got that. Mickey Mantle 1952 rookie card was just sold at auction for $2.88 million.
No.
A 9 out of 10 on the near mint scale.
Ah.
And the Toronto Blue Jays AA affiliate has 3 guys playing on the same team that are all the sons of former Major League Baseball All-Stars.
Who's the affiliate?
Craig Biggio, Dante Bichette, and Vlad Guerrero Jr.
For Toronto?
Yeah. Well, they play for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats,
Oh.
which is the AA affiliate of the Blue Jays.
I knew Vlad Guerrero because he's a high prospect. I didn't know the other 2.
Yep.
April 23rd, all right.
What else I put on here?
I want to get your take on the theme nights.
Oh, yeah, we can do that. Put that on here.
Do you have the list of theme nights? Star Wars.
I put in here, I don't like the guy who sits behind us at Camden Yards.
I don't either. Which one?
You can't mention on the podcast.
I know.
No,
Do you think he listens to the podcast?
No.
But he may.
No, you can say that. You can say that. I'll be right there with you.
I like how he's like, hey, get your phone out. I need you to Google something for me. No, get your own phone out, jerk.
Meanwhile, he's using his phone to listen to the game on the radio.
Hey, why were there a doubleheader in Detroit today? Get your phone out and look that up for me.
Yeah.
I mean, like, get out of my
And
face.
the old guy who will argue with you if you say something. Like, I do not like. They're all. Is it School of Rock? Is that what they're all from? Are they all rock podcast commenters?
Oh, those guys?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think Dad said that before.
You don't hear them? They're always like so and so sitting over here, so and so, and they're not human names. It's like
Yeah,
Dave from Reisterstown.
They're avatars.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's Orioles Hangout or if it's Rock or what it is, but there's someone that they keep commenting on.
Let's see. I sent you that. Did you see the clip of the Jeter interview?
Was that the
Yeah, I
statue?
watched that.
Did you watch it?
Was that the one with the statue?
Huh? No, the one Jeter.
Oh, said he's gonna compete or whatever.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, tanking. What are you talking about? We're not tanking. And Brian Gumbel's like, yes, you are tanking.
But I'm not. I can't tell my players that.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'll tell HBO Sports Night with Brian Gumbel that.
You'll never hear me tell my players that. Are you tanking? You'll never hear me tell your players. You're not answering a question.
And I mean, the when I watched that clip, the first thing that jumped out at me is Derek Jeter looks like Cal Ripken looks right now. It's the
You mean just an old baseball player look?
he's accepted or he's adopted Cal Ripken's patented retired shortstop look,
Yeah.
which is the bald head, round body.
It's bad. I hate those players who like Brady Anderson who like stay in playing shape.
Yeah,
and
what's
retire.
wrong with him?
Like, retire.
Retire already.
Is Kinsey here?
Let your body go.
I went to
They dropped me off here.
I went to message Mandy, send Mandy a link, and it said I could airdrop to Kinsey.
Oh, they were outside a few minutes ago when they dropped me off.
Did they drive back with Gigi? I thought Gigi was staying there.
She did stay. They drove Gigi's car back.
Oh, gotcha.
Gigi gonna hitchhike back?
No, I think your dad's going down there at some point later.
Oh.
Can't keep track
What's
of
wrong with
everybody.
is Vara's car broken?
No, but they all rode down there together.
Gotcha.
So, I wanted to discuss something. How, in hindsight, we should have all seen this coming. How bad the Orioles are. Like it in hindsight, all the clues are there. It's blatantly obvious. They knew they were going to be bad.
Oh, really?
And we were foolish to think otherwise.
Because my take is the complete opposite. That I think even now, I don't understand what's happening.
I agree.
think they should be really good. I don't understand what I'm seeing.
Right.
as I'm
It
watching.
doesn't make
I've
sense.
I've got a few points. I'm going to write them down so I don't forget them.
Right. Yeah. There's.
I'm like in disbelief every night when I watch a television screen. Like, what is happening?
You know.
Tim Beckham's still batting 100? What is happening?
Tim Beckham's leading off tonight
Yeah, I saw that.
because Buck said, "Yes, Buck, why?"
Who are the other
And Buck
options?
said, "There's no good stats. I have a feeling." and and I get it.
Because there's no good stats for anyone.
And I get it because I've got the feeling every day. Every day I feel like this is where they turn it around. This doesn't make sense. Here it is.
Yeah, everyone I think is shocked by what's happening right now. Everyone's just completely shocked by the Orioles.
Except for people outside of the market. I think we're on Facebook, by the way. I haven't checked. But we were supposed to go live at 6:05.
Emily the other day, and Emily said, she said, we were talking about what happens if one of us die.
One of us die?
No, like either me die or Emily dies.
Oh, one of the two of you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've never had this conversation.
So Emily's already thinking about husband number 2?
Yeah. I never actually even thought about it. Because she's like, well, what do you want me to do with your body when you die, Matt? Which is really an abrupt question when you're driving back from Lowe's after picking up some garden supplies. But and I literally never thought about it. I don't know. I just bury me like everybody else.
Viking funeral?
And Emily's
save some
like,
money.
I said take my body out with the trash like Frank Reynolds. Just throw me out with the trash.
And Emily's all about cremation. So I said, okay. I said, fine. You feel strongly about that.
Yeah.
Cremate me too, because she doesn't want to take up any space.
I'm all about cremation too. Less space, less money.
Yeah, and she said, just take me to some place or just, put your ashes someplace special.
Okay.
And she's like, for example, and I said, so what would you do if I just dropped dead right now? And then she said, well, I would have to take control of the wheel. I said, okay, but after all that, like, what would you do with the body? And she said, like, I don't know, I'd put your ashes somewhere special, like the place you got married, or maybe like drop them off the balcony of Section 336.
Hey, there you go. That's a thought.
Except it sucks for whoever's sitting below.
Well, that's what I said. I said, you got to make sure none of my ashes get in someone's beer. And she said, no, you idiot. I meant like the other way, like not off the balcony, but off the back, I guess, onto the street or something.
Okay.
Oh,
Way
like
up top.
Yeah.
like out of. Oh no! See, you want to go on the field. You don't want to go out into the street.
Yeah, I guess that's
I don't
true.
know.
Where would you guys want your ashes to go when you're cremated?
I want them sprinkled in the water at Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that would be
That's
awesome.
a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Hey, do you know what happens if you donate your body to science, or what do you think happens?
Well, I think they do a lot of perverted things like one only imagine.
No,
to
seriously.
science. Oh, to science. No, I had no idea.
Well, what would you think they do?
Oh, I
They
would
use
think
it-
do an autopsy.
No, they use it for like as a test dummy.
Like for medical students and
Yeah,
stuff?
And
yeah.
like look at your that's where we get all those pictures of smokers' lungs, right?
Right.
And, like looking at those. And
Well,
thinking,
get this. Have you ever heard of a body farm? Because the other side of the story, if you donate your body to science, it could go to a body farm, which they have these at universities all across the country, where they just put clothes on your dead body, throw it out in a field somewhere, and watch it rot. And they take photographs of it, and they study how the human body rots.
Well, fine. At least they put clothes on me.
But if you think you're donating your body to science, you're thinking, oh, medical students, they're going to take pictures of my lungs for cancer students and stuff like that. Or they're just going to leave you rotting in a forest somewhere.
Yeah, but that's still doing something for science.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a game. It's not.
or there's other options. What happens to your body when they die?
I'm looking at the headline.
I heard this
Josh's
on-
or Matt's
Oh,
computer.
yeah, I'm purposely just staying over here.
I heard this on WBAL. I just caught the end of it.
What?
I don't know. On WBAL on the way over here, they were talking about some kind of penis transplant. That I guess everyone's
Yeah.
the first one ever. Is this
Yeah.
in the news?
This
Yeah.
is the second successful
Yeah,
one.
there was the first one was like last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But why was the news today?
I think every time it's successful, it's news.
What constitute as successful, though?
Well, they were talking about how
Fully
the
functioning?
person who got it had now had more confidence. I don't know what
Right.
that meant.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I'm
If
reading
it,
an article now.
it would have to work the way it's supposed to work. Otherwise, what's the point?
It worked. Right.
I mean, it's good to have it, even if it doesn't work.
I
guess.
guess. I don't know.
I'm sure it works.
And what is the reasoning for needing a replacement in the first place? What happened the first time around?
You ever heard of Casey Joseph?
You've already proven
You
that
know.
you can't handle it.
You're right. It should be like you got one chance. If you lose it, you lose it.
You have proven you're incapable of handling one of these. I need a second shot.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm sorry, I'm
I hadn't
getting
heard
carried
that.
away
I've been
reading
obsessed
this.
with the body farms. You can Google image search a body farm, and
I want
See
to
all
Google
kinds of
image
great stuff.
first penis organ transfer. I want to Google image that, but maybe the other one. I can Google image.
at the body farms, they have to put these cages over the corpses so that vultures don't get to them while they're studying how.
When
they
you
decompose.
donate your body for medical reasons, do you have any say, like what kind of medical
don't know.
reasons?
I mean, that's more of like criminal forensics. Like what the example I seen was a decomposing body laying on a mattress. And the reason is they would come back every few days to see how it's decomposing so that when the police show up at a house and there's a dead body laying in a bed, they can determine how long it's been laying there
Right.
based on its level of decomposition.
But aren't there like a million environmental factors that influence that?
Sure. If it rained that day.
temperature,
Yeah.
humid-
Well, I'm
humidity.
sure they take all those things into consideration.
Yeah.
So
Hey, did you
I bet you would decay faster than I would. Yeah, go ahead.
Bert, did you give PD Live a chance?
PD Live.
Yeah, the police show.
Oh, I did give it
Yeah,
a
remember
chance.
I was
Yeah,
telling
yeah.
you to check it out?
Nothing all that exciting happened. They busted a bunch of teenagers smoking pot or like passed out with the windows open.
Oh, well, that's always fun just because you get to laugh at how stupid the guys are.
I was pleased though to see how cool the cops were about it. Like they
Oh,
gave them
look.
a couple tickets and they're like, this isn't a big deal. Just if you're gonna smoke weed, shut the windows.
Right. I always like when it's a neighbors fight in
Yeah.
or and stuff like that. So
You always hope it gets violent.
yeah,
Are you allowed to say that? No, I would never hope
No.
that it gets violent.
we've been down this path. You never
That's
root
right.
for injuries.
I want violence, just nobody get hurt. So like faux violence, like the movies, pretty much.
Yeah, we need some more fights in baseball. I don't think there's been enough fights in baseball.
There have been
That's
some pretty
one of
good
my
ones so
favorite
far,
things.
though.
Yeah, there's been a couple, but no, I guess a couple, but no real punches landed.
Yankees, Red Sox already.
Yeah.
Red Sox and the Padres had one.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, can we start the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're wasting valuable conversation.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we wanted to get into dead bodies in the show, but
That's strictly pre-show.
right, that's for the pre-show people. You guys ready to get started?
Let's do it.
For fans, by fans. Section 336, the next generation of Baltimore sports talk.
Today on the show, Matt will keep on typing on his computer.
I was waiting for my 60 Minutes music.
Did you have a 60 Minutes question
I was
ready?
quickly typing it right now. That's what I was typing.
You got it. No one's prepared today.
Section 336. Section 336. Section 336. It's the new Baltimore generation talking about the Orioles and the Ravens. And someday Josh, Bert, and Matt might even find time to talk about the Blasts. This is the world's greatest podcast. No better place to talk about sports that are being played in Baltimore. Section 336. Section 336. Section 336. Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, the next generation of Baltimore sports talk, and, by the way, Baltimore's best sports talk. I am your dearly stuttering host, Matt Soroka, and as always, I'm joined by the Zany Barone.
I'm glad you finally took those sunglasses off, Matt, because I had sunglasses on in the car, and I almost thought about wearing them into the studio, but I thought, nah, that would be stupid. And then as soon as I get in here, you're the one wearing sunglasses indoors. So
Yeah, Matt gave me his excuse earlier.
you have a glaucoma outbreak or something?
No, these are prescription sunglasses, and I forgot my real glasses,
Yeah,
and so
needed-
I can't see anything without wearing these sunglasses.
Yep. Typical blind man excuse. That's what Mr. Magoo used to say all the
Right.
time.
just like all the guys at the at 10 o'clock at the baseball game, still wearing the sunglasses.
Oh, you look cool. You look cool. I can't tell if you're looking at me, and your eyes say so much. Like, I can't tell if a story I'm telling is going anywhere. Yeah, if you roll your eyes like that, then I know to cut the story short. But if you give me the engaged look, then I know what's going on.
All right. Well, whenever I talk to you, I'll take them off, and then when I go back to the computer screen, I'll put them back on.
Perfect. It would also help if you didn't have like the tiniest font ever on your screen right now.
Oh yeah, I can just increase my font size.
Yeah, there is that capability.
I wish you could increase everything like this with just a couple clicks of the button. So here is my.
Yeah, like I wish you could increase what the Orioles do at the plate by just clicking a
that's
button.
what I'm saying.
Or just ask a couple South African doctors to increase what you got going on.
So here is my intro question that Josh didn't let me do.
You mean that you didn't have ready, and thankfully I played the long intro that was 3 minutes, so
I
you
didn't
had
have
time to
anything
type
ready
it.
either.
No, this is more of a statement. So Alex Cobb struggles again.
No. This is your joke from last week. This is last week you wanted this question.
So Alex, can I finish my joke?
All right, go ahead. Let's hear about it.
Because last one I said, is he still getting the cobweb?
Right, you were going
I
cobwebs.
said I'm going different here. Okay. Do you
All
know
right.
where I'm going? You don't know where I'm going.
Where are you going?
Because I'm not picking the low fruit either. A lot of people pick the low fruit. I don't pick the low fruit. So Alex Cobb struggles again, but in good news, with all these players running around the bases when Cobb is pitching. Hold on, let me start again. I think I could deliver that better. So Alex Cobb struggles again, but in good news, with all these players running around around the bases when Cobb is pitching, he will at least keep all these cobblers in business.
Like the shoes?
A shoe
Like
cobbler?
a shoe cobbler.
Okay.
That's gold, Jerry. Gold.
That's a bit of a stretch. I think I liked it better last week with the Alex Cobb Ryan Webb connection.
Yeah.
The cobweb could have really had something.
I'm trying to talk about Cobb with a voice.
And I would have
corn.
I would have
So-
just gone with the sounds like it and gone the turkey route with instead of gobble go cobble gobble cobble
Okay.
and go that route.
Well, you guys also have the opportunity to write your own questions or make your own 60 minutes.
Yeah, I just need to remember to
Yeah.
do it.
Okay.
And we got the early start
Cobblers.
today. We're starting at 6:00 today. Early start.
Hard start.
Cobblers is someone who repairs shoes because they're running around all the bases. They need cobblers because their
All right.
shoes are getting so worn from running around the bases.
Is that the new challenge now? Who can make the best Alex Cobb reference each week? Is that what we're gonna do?
I think so, but it has to be clever and unique.
All right.
Nothing lazy.
All right. So everyone's question next week has to be about Alex Cobb.
About Alex Cobb. And we'll see if we come up with the best one.
Mine will be somehow related to how Alex Cobb really is just the next Ubaldo Jimenez.
Okay. That's not a pun or a play on his name at all. So I think you're going to lose.
Yeah.
But
work on that
if
one.
I'm right, how can I be wrong?
Okay. You can be right, but you can still be a loser. How about that?
I can go with that.
All right.
I'd rather be right than
You know
be a loser.
who's not a loser?
who's that?
Bert and I,
Why's that?
because we've been to 2 Oriole games,
Ah,
2 wins.
I'm 1-0.
We're 2-0.
I'm also not a loser.
Yeah. you're
Wait,
not-
how many wins do we have? 6, 7?
We've seen like half of them or a third of them.
Yeah, that's pretty pathetic.
Yeah. We-
But it says a lot about us.
Yeah.
We should go to more games.
Well, see, we need to do things, and I'm trying to do our part, so I changed our intro music back to the really long Section 336 song
Okay.
because the Orioles haven't played well since we've been going back to that old one.
Right.
So I'm doing that, and we went to games. We've seen 2 wins.
Yes.
Thought about going Saturday, and then I saw it was Tillman, and I said, oh well, I don't want to mess up my streak. So
But that's a game we
think-
won, right?
no, we won Friday.
Oh, that's right.
We won Friday when we were there.
When Dylan Bundy
If
pitched.
you guys just go to Dylan Bundy games,
And yes, that we
I
both.
think
well,
you'll be rather successful.
And
that-
we're going back on Thursday, but Bundy's pitching Wednesday.
Ooh.
So I think we're
Oh.
gonna get Tillman on Thursday when we're back
Ew.
at Camden Yards.
Or I might go on. Then maybe I'll go on Wednesday instead. We should start the show with saying a hello to Jamie, the
Oh, yeah.
coconut who said hello to us on Friday night at the game.
In section 334. Of course,
Yeah.
Jamie sits in section 336, like,
Like
real
any-
336.
like a
He
real
is more
coconut.
entitled to do this podcast than we are, frankly. So that's embarrassing
Right.
for us. But yeah.
I think he's in the front row too. I saw him sit down in
All
the
right.
front row. That's prime seating.
I don't like the front row.
No?
No, I tried it out, and there's a reason I chose row 3 for us.
Why don't you like the front row?
You don't like the more leg room?
You get a little more leg room only if you stick your legs through the bars, but I don't like that the bars are in the way a little bit.
Like in the eye line?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Or I couldn't see that because it's in the eye line. Get it?
Right.
Stupid.
So can we talk about the Orioles here?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's get depressed.
Let's start with this. The Orioles' record is 6-16.
Yikes.
6 wins, 16 losses.
Mm-hmm.
For a winning percentage of .273.
Okay.
They currently sit What, 11 and a half back? I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, it's 11.5.
11 and a half back. But good news is, in the wild card, they're only 7 and a half back.
Oh, okay.
Who's
all right.
watching? Who's watching those wild card standings? I know this guy is.
About the only thing you can watch right now.
How we're 23 games in.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Was that
I heard
me?
myself. Oh, okay again.
That was me. I opened up the. I tried to make sure the stream was working.
Okay. Are you streaming? Okay.
The
How's
stream.
your stream?
The
How's your
stream is
Is it
crystal
flowing?
clear.
All right.
Nice smooth flow.
I asked that guy in South Africa how his stream is.
Everyone doesn't listen to the pre-show, so they're probably missing out
Right.
on that South Africa.
Yeah, tune into the pre-show to get all the inside jokes.
Is how surprised are you, Burt Rohde, about this start that the Orioles had?
Well, we talked about this. I am genuinely surprised. We took 3 out of 4 from the Yankees. I'm like, okay, all right, the Yankees are a good team, but then getting destroyed by the Tigers. The Boston Red Sox are ridiculous right now. Nobody's beating them unless you're the Oakland Athletics. Then hit them, which everyone around here got a nice little chuckle.
The
after.
Orioles never been
Right.
no hit.
That's right. Never have. Not this year.
The Orioles are
Right.
a better offensive
We-
team than Boston.
We never get our first hit until the 8th inning,
Yeah,
but
exactly. I am surprised, but I've been giving it some thought because in hindsight, all of the clues were there. I think the Orioles knew they were going to be terrible this year. I think, I saw interviews in spring training with guys like Chris Davis and Manny Machado where they said things like, everyone's writing us off. Pacoda's going to rank us in finishing 5th under 500. But I think we're going to surprise a lot of teams this year, surprise a lot of the pundits, surprise a lot of the fans. And you know what? We are surprised. We're surprised that they're this terrible. And in hindsight, all of the clues were there. All of a sudden, they have this new promotion where kids get in free. This has never happened before, where the stadium is more empty than it's ever been before. And now you can bring in your kids for free because who wants to buy
Literally
kids?
letting people in for free.
Exactly. You don't want to buy a ticket for your kid when it's subpar baseball, where you're not going to see a hit till the 7th inning. Where we'll talk about this later, but we've instilled theme nights, which were along the level of like the Frederick Keys now. Nothing against the Frederick Keys, but promotions like this belong in the minor
Right.
league where you need to bring in a Frisbee dog to get people's butts in the seats.
When is the monkey coming in to ride the dog?
The monkey-
chase the goats.
Last time I checked, this is a Major League Baseball team,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden we have to have a Game of Thrones and Star Wars nights just to get
well,
people in the
I get
stadium.
I get
Yeah.
Game of Thrones and I got Star Wars. It was the bark in the park that got me that's a little minor league-ish.
But it's still teams that are good and sell out every night. They don't need this kind of garbage.
No, every team does Star Wars and Game of Thrones. They started it last year.
Yeah.
Every team jumps on those two franchises because those two franchises are bigger than Major League Baseball. If we've learned anything watching these games, besides what happens on the field, it's that it's not just the Orioles that have a problem with attendance. Every Oriole away game has been really low attendance. The White Sox had a game with 700 people that came out.
Wow.
I mean, and I know we love to bash and say that people don't go to the Oriole games, and we've gone to 2 games. One of them was nice weather. The other was cold. Watching baseball when it's cold sucks. And we've
You have
gotten
to bring a blanket.
Yeah, and we've gotten actually the nicer weather games for us. But I can totally understand not going when it's cold or rainy or they suck.
What has happened to my pod? I just asked you about if you were surprised by the start of the Orioles, and now you're taking down this an attendance route.
No, he's saying that the Orioles knew that it was going to be bad, so that's why they're trying to do these gimmicks.
And not to mention, the last
Yeah.
thing I had on here for they knew they were going to be bad is you give Manny Machado control over the team, essentially saying, I want to play shortstop. Okay, Manny, you can play shortstop. So we're willing to put a guy like
All right.
Tim Beckham at third base who has no business playing third
Yes.
base at a major
Yeah.
league level.
Now, I want to...
Yeah.
So we're going to cater to a superstar because we know the season's going to tank
All
anyway.
right, can we bring up the Manny at short discussion? I want to talk about that a little bit later.
Sure.
Because I really
And I
want to
wanna
get
talk
into
about
that.
Bark in the Park some more later too, so we'll talk about that. I got some views on that too.
All right,
Oh, I do too.
I-
I hate dogs.
This is like the dog hating podcast.
It's well
Right.
established
Yeah.
on the show that I don't like dogs.
right. Yeah, I won't be going to that game either.
I won't be near Baltimore that game.
But all right, here's the thing: the Orioles. We went into this season saying, "All right, we've got a good lineup. If the pitching looks like it's got potential," and I think the biggest surprise has been that the starting pitching has been okay. It's had some highlights.
If your name isn't Alex
If you're-
Cobb or Chris Tillman.
Yes, but Cashner's been good.
Or Mike Wright.
Bundy's been great. Gosman's been good. And the biggest surprise is this lineup. The surprise that Davis is at 164, Beckham's at 175. The surprise that Santander is your everyday right fielder. The fact that Joseph is at 100. That Sardinius is 118. That Sardinius is even on your team is ridiculous.
Until a week ago, I'd never even heard of Sardinius.
Yeah.
It's crazy that this team, more than ever in the past 7 years, this team this year needed Ryan Flaherty. They screwed that up, and Ryan Flaherty is having the season of his life. It's crazy. It's really crazy. I did not think this is where the Orioles would be going into this, knowing April was really tough, and knowing that if we could get through 500 in April, we'd be in really good shape. I am just shocked at how bad this offense is, because on paper it doesn't make sense on the preseason.
Well, we commented
And-
when we were at the game on Friday night, or at least I commented, because once you get past Chris Davis at the number 5 hitter, you got Tim Beckham, Santander, Cisco, and Sardinius.
Right.
That's a bottom half of the lineup that's not scaring anybody.
No. And the fact
Even
that
Chris Davis isn't really scaring anybody.
and we all knew Tillman was 50-50. We all knew Mike Wright was bad. But for Alex Cobb to be your worst pitcher is crazy and not something we could have predicted.
Well, and I know Alex Cobb's pitched twice. In both of his starts, he hasn't been good, obviously.
No.
But he's also been the victim of some terrible defense
Yes.
because of guys like Sardinius and Tim Beckham
The defense
anchoring your infield.
Yes, the defense has been a major problem this year as well. How about you, Matt? Before we start tearing apart each player, were you surprised by this?
No, I knew they would suck the whole time. I was trying to tell you guys, the beginning of the season seems going to suck. No one listened to me.
Let's pull up that bold
Right.
prediction episode.
I think you were the most positive.
Yeah,
What's going
There's a
on?
couple things here. That's Sardinius. I'm glad you brought him up, because this is a lot of people are criticizing Dan Duquette for putting this team together. I find little to criticize with Dan Duquette when this, except for the Sardinius, in that this was our best option when one infielder went down.
Yeah.
And this is the best option. And he is not a major league player, but he's here because we messed up with Ryan Flaherty. But
Right, and that's the frustrating thing is it was just a straight mess up.
But there, I mean, who are if I asked you who are the top 3 hitters on this team? Who are the top 3 hitters? Not just this year, but
Right now?
who are the top 3 hitters on this team?
Machado, Mancini, Jones, Scope.
Yeah, I would say Machado, Mancini, Scope, 2 of which are out right now, and not a lot of people are talking about it. But it hurts to have. I know Mancini's only been out for a couple of days, but that kills your lineup.
Yeah.
and not having Scope hurts your lineup a lot
We're
too.
recording.
defensively and offensively.
Yeah, we're recording this Monday before the Monday night game. Mancini's missing his 3rd game in a row.
Yeah, if you take 2 of the top 3 hitters out of any lineup, it's going to have a negative effect on that lineup.
Yeah.
It's going to be
The
hard to
problem
score.
is this lineup sucked before they went out.
Well, and I think the backups, who you have replacing Mancini and Scope, certainly
Is a huge drop.
It's a big drop off. I mean, we're a team that's top heavy without depth, at least depth that's ready. And Santander's an interesting case because Santander, I think after spring training, they thought, oh man, we found something here.
Right.
Everyone was so high on Santander, and once spring training ended, that it seemed like, oh, this guy is not just here for 44 days. This
Right,
guy's here
he's gonna
stay.
stick around.
And it turns out that no, he appears not to be ready for the majors.
Right.
And then it's shocking the averages, right? That you have Machado at 356. Hold on, I gotta go to the glasses. Sorry. Bro.
Yeah, it's shocking
Just
just
don't look me in the
that
eye.
they can't hit the ball.
And then outside of Mancini at 284, the next highest guy is 256, and that's Francisco. And under that, it's no one is even above 240 outside of 3 guys. And so this is, I mean, it's very surprising that the offense has been this bad, that Tim Beckham has been this bad. I look at this roster and I think, oh, these are some good players here.
Right.
But they're not performing at all. And then everything that could go wrong has gone wrong with the defense. Even the bullpen has not played that well.
No,
pitched
Brock
that
is crap.
And so, I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
And I have one other thing here that I forgot to add to the. In hindsight, we should have seen this coming. that they've kept 3 Rule 5 guys.
Oh yeah,
Right. Yeah, and that's
That's them tanking.
yeah,
To take a word from Brian
well,
Gumbel.
we're down to 2 now.
yeah. But that's what I mean. I mean, this that's when I'm watching the game now. I think this is what tanking looks like.
Yeah.
And if you look at our lineup, minus Trey Mancini, minus Jonathan Scope, this is what tanking
Minus
looks
Manny
like.
Machado.
Machado's,
Yeah.
on loan right now.
I mean, the crazy thing is we have one of the best starting pitchers probably we ever had. Certainly the best starting pitcher we've had since Mike Messina.
And ACE potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's
I think we start using the
yeah,
word.
we've got an ace with
a superstar.
with 1 win.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
I know he needs to pitch better.
The
He
win
needs to get
stat
those
doesn't
wins.
mean anything.
No, but it's the fact that, but it doesn't mean anything as far as that pitcher. It means a lot with how this team is playing.
Right.
That they cannot get their ace, who's going 7 innings, a win.
But my point is, we have one of the best starting pitchers in baseball
Mm-hmm.
this year. We also have a top 5 player just in baseball,
With-
Manny Machado.
Right.
Who's now leading the league in home runs?
Yeah.
All solo shots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
8 home runs, all of them solo home runs.
But even like this a little bit reminds me of that White Sox teams a couple years ago that had Chris Sale and a couple good hitters, but didn't have enough. I mean, you can't win in baseball with 2 great players.
right.
And so right now, someone else needs to start playing great. I mean, I don't know. Is the season done? I mean, I came up with this line. I want to know what you guys think about it. It's that a team can't lose the pennant or can't win the pennant in April, but a team can lose the pennant in April. That's a line I just came up with.
Yeah, and and that's the
Have we lost
question.
the pennant?
Not yet, but the question we've got Scope coming back. We've got Trumbo coming back. We have Britton coming back. The real question is going to be, how big is the hole when those guys come back? Because if Britton comes back in June and we're not up to 500 yet, what's the point? Take it easy, sell them all. I mean, the question is, this is a deeper hole than any of us expected, and we're not seeing any.
Bro, can you use the term? I like the term wider hole.
Okay, fine.
This
This
is a
is
wider
a
hole.
this is a wider hole
Yeah, I like that image better.
than anyone's planned, and it's really, what can we do about it? The Red Sox are going to come back down to earth,
They've lost 2 in a row.
right? They're settling down.
But what comes first? The Red Sox get 10 losses or the Orioles get 10 wins?
Hopefully the Orioles get 10 wins.
Neither.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. You got to hope that when we go into this home stretch that's starting out rough with Cleveland, hopefully you can split it today, and then you got Tampa Bay and Detroit in town. 2 bad teams, but we just got swept by Detroit, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yes, we did.
So I
They're rebuilding, though, aren't they?
they are rebuilding.
Right.
They are actually tanking. The tanking teams are beating us.
Right.
That's how bad it is.
so it's it's frustrating.
I mean, I get why they don't do cats in the park, because cats in the park doesn't rhyme like a meow in the park doesn't rhyme like bark in the park. But I still would prefer a meow in the park over. Can you imagine if everyone brought their cat to Camden Yards? That'd be a good time.
I don't mind the theme nights because we've been
What about goats?
asking for creativity for a long time.
Yeah,
I don't think this is very
just don't like
creative. I don't think this is very creative.
Yeah,
but
like
it's something.
Ferrets in the park would be creative. Bunch of ferrets running around. How about hamsters and little hamster balls everywhere?
I like that.
That would be creative.
I'd get behind that.
That'd bark in the park.
I just hope that one of the dogs gets loosened on the field. I know it happens at minor league games once in a while. I just hope it happens in Camden Yards.
Is it weird that I kind of want one of the LGBT pride hats? I kind of like it.
You like the
I
rainbow?
like that hat. I think I'm going to get one.
I don't think it's weird. How many dogs going to the stadium are going to be named Cal for barking in the park?
There'd be a lot of cows, a lot of brooks.
Brooks, yeah.
Yeah.
Trey, and I bet
Trey.
Manny. I bet you there's a bunch of Mannies.
I know a couple Manny dogs.
Yeah.
I don't like to be near them, but
At the end of the Sandlot theme, they're gonna play the Sandlot movie,
because no one's ever seen it
so all
before.
the kids can hang out. When
But I like the idea of a Sandlot themed Oriole shirt.
when they do Game of Thrones, are they gonna play an episode of Game of Thrones for all
Yes.
the kids at the
Yeah.
end
Right,
as well?
to make it nice and family friendly.
Preferably a really graphic one.
Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully they chop off Chris Davis's head.
Because they're all about the kids, all about the kids.
I don't know if that happens in Game of Thrones. I've never seen it.
There's quite a few head chops.
I know there's some nudity. I don't think that would go over well on the Jumbotron. But I think the violence we can go with.
I think they would, Oriole fans, and this goes to one of your notes I saw in the show notes. I think maybe Mark Trumbo would be a more appropriate person
To get his head chopped off?
get his head
You mean
chopped
because of the pie stat
Yeah,
that
the
he
pie stat.
that he is the reason for this? Why didn't you bring that up as the reason you knew this season was going to be bad?
That's another one. Yeah. I saw on Twitter, Matt Kremnitzer, he's from Camden Depot, posted that the Orioles are 11-36 since Mark Trumbo put the kibosh on pie celebrations.
11-36.
That was back
no
on
more
September
pies.
3rd of
That's-
last year.
That's incredible.
I can't wait for 100 years from now when we're talking about the curse of the pies.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what really where it all went south. You can't upset the pie and baseball gods. like
Right.
that.
No.
No, the pie gods have been so nice to the Orioles the past 5 years.
Well, this team, and I think this is the point that Matt's trying to make, that this team is built on
Did you just talk about yourself in the third person?
no, because Matt is the guy who tweeted it out.
Oh, Matt from Camden Depot.
Yeah, Matt-
I thought
yeah,
you were talking about
Kremnitzer.
yourself. This is the point that Bert's trying to make.
Matt's trying to make a really good point right now. Please listen. No, that this team was built on team chemistry and a magic that went along with team chemistry, and the pies, putting a kibosh on the pies, put a kibosh on the chemistry and the magic that was working in that locker room.
Yeah.
I think that's the point he's trying to make.
He
I'm
sucked
just
the
kidding.
fun out of the room.
He would never try to make that point because he's on analytics and logic or whatever. So he would never make that point. But I like to think that that's the point he's trying to make here.
Right. Yeah, but you're right. This team was built in fun, having fun and just enjoying playing together,
And now it's built on the Trumbo dictatorship.
It's really hard to see the team as having fun right now.
Every time I see Trumbo, it's like that Denzel Washington and Remember the Titans. This is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship.
Trumbo's not even around anymore.
I know he still has that influence on the team. He's gonna be back. I mean, honestly though, watching Santander play every day, like I'm hoping I'm looking forward to Trumbo coming back. It's gotten that bad.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to Trumbo coming
What's
back.
it? Who's
I
who
thought
was
I'd
out
say
there?
that.
Who's responsible for teaching Santander how to hit the cutoff man? Like that's Little League.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
I don't understand. Every time he throws it in from right field, it's going over the cutoff man's head to the guy standing at second base who needs to like all of a sudden pay attention because the ball's coming to them.
And was it?
when
Yeah.
there's not even a runner nearby.
And well, yesterday he tried to throw it to second base because the runner was going to second base, and Saliendo cut it off. It made no sense.
Sardine can.
Yeah, they finally got a good throw where they were going to get a guy out at second, and they cut it off. This team is
Unwatchable.
they're frustrating.
Actually, the more terrible
No.
they get, the more watchable they might get just to see
I
how
was gonna
terrible
say,
they get.
I've
It'll be
wa-
like that 30-3 game.
I mean, it's almost like Santander's a Rule 5 guy and Sardinius is a career minor leaguer playing in the majors.
Yeah.
Right,
Almost like
exactly.
that. So
Yeah.
almost like that.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean I've watched every game though. Watched every minute. I'm not bailing yet
Well,
because I still think every
I'm
week.
not watching when Chris Tillman pitches. I'll say that much. I'm not watching. when
Well,
Tillman
we're
pitches.
going Thursday night. We have tickets.
Okay, I'll be wearing my paper bag.
I'll have the Orioles Why Not video on my phone. I'll just sit there and watch that.
All right. Hey, Bert, you got some other fun show notes in here?
I do. I added some news this week.
Yeah.
Just a lot of baseball news going on. We mentioned briefly earlier seeing the Boston Red Sox get no hit was a lot of fun, even though they're 17-4. The Orioles haven't been no hit, like we said.
Yep.
We might have 2 no hitters still ahead of us this season. It's
But
a long
right now,
season.
I think it's safe to say the Orioles' offense is better than the Boston Red Sox offense because we haven't been no hit yet.
I hope you're being facetious there. Did you guys see what happened in San Francisco, or I guess it was Anaheim last night? The Brandon Belt batting second
yeah,
for
yeah.
the San Francisco Giants recorded a major league record 21 pitch at bat
Yeah.
before finally getting
It was
out.
like a 12-minute
Yeah.
at bat or something, right? The
Yeah, it was a
longest
12-minute at bat. It was a 29-minute first half of the inning,
Yeah.
and there were no runs scored. Half hour for half an inning.
That sounds like some Oriole baseball.
Seriously, I thought that was kind of cool though. 21 pitch at bat.
Hashtag pace of play.
Pace of play, absolutely. Let's see. I texted a
But if
couple
you
of
put
these
a runner at
stories
second
to
extra
myself.
innings, it'll solve all that.
Currently occurring in the Toronto Blue Jays AA affiliate, they have the sons of 3 former Major League All-Stars all playing on the same team for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. And a lot of them one of them was getting a lot of hype in spring training. Vlad Guerrero
Yeah.
Jr. You were
He
seeing
had a
his name
walk-off
pop
home
up.
Run. Yeah, he had a walk-off
Yeah.
home run in spring training.
Walk off in spring training. So I think he's the top prospect or one of the top prospects in Toronto's organization. But also on his team is, I don't know if I say this right, Kavan Biggio, the son of Craig Biggio.
A great second
Nice.
baseman for
He's
the Astros.
recently
yeah.
inducted in the Hall of Fame, I believe, right? If we
Yeah.
had an intern,
Yeah.
I'd have him correct that.
Well,
Craig Biggio's in the Hall of Fame.
wasn't he? Has he been inducted or?
I'm pretty sure
Or
he
is he
is.
just a nominee that's going in this year?
Yeah, we go. Craig Biggio made the Hall of Fame in 2015. There you go.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
And Vlad Guerrero's being inducted this July.
Yes.
Right.
There you go. And the third one
Go
is
Expos.
Bo Bichette, who is the son of former outfielder Dante Bichette. Dante Bichette was outfielder for the Colorado Rockies. Between the three of them, the former major leaguers, Craig Biggio, Dante Bichette, and Vlad Guerrero, Guerrero, former Oriole, made 20 All-Star teams and belted more than 1,000 home runs among their 7,500 or so hits. So I thought that was pretty cool. Biggio, Bichette, and Guerrero are all guys, who we collected their baseball cards,
Yeah.
back in the day. Biggio especially, he was
I was more of a Jeff Bagwell guy. but
earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that story was cool. Wanted to share that.
Do you think they'll be interested in us trading Palmeiro's kid to them to add to their team?
Well, sure, we might not be too far off because don't we have Ryan Ripken?
That's true. We got Ripken and Palmeiro.
Ripken's at Delmarva and Palmeiro's at the Keys.
So now we just need
I thought they were both at the Keys for some reason.
Is Ripken at the
I think
Keys?
they might both be at the
I don't
Keys.
think he
what's
is.
Joe Orslak's kids up to? I believe this was also in New Hampshire. No, Massachusetts. A lot of stories coming out of New England these days.
Right.
Here's a story.
Tom Brady.
High school team, Old Rochester High School of Mattapoisett, Massachusetts, traveled to nearby Lawrence last weekend to play Notre Dame Cristo Rey High School in an out-of-conference baseball game where they went on to win 82-0. 82-0 was the final score. Old Rochester is a regional high school team with a thriving athletics program. Meanwhile, Notre Dame Cristo Rey is a boys' school with an enrollment of 100.
Why? Well, at 30 runs, don't you just quit if you're the other team and just go home? Like, I'm not even going back out to the field now. What are you doing?
The head coach of Old Rochester realized a terrible mistake had been made. He had scheduled the game against the wrong Notre Dame Cristo Rey school.
That's hilarious.
But then it was too late to change anything and the game began. Old Rochester scored 12 runs in the first inning and the rout was on. By the second inning, it was clear this was going to be a nightmarish game. The coach said, by that time, we weren't sprinting down the line after hitting routine ground balls. And when we were hitting balls 300 feet, we weren't taking extra bases. I don't know how many times we had the bases loaded, and all they had to do was make and force out at any base, and they couldn't make the plays. So he's basically calling out this other team
so
for how
bad.
terrible
Oh, wait,
they
so
are.
the team that ran up the score, that coach is the one trash talking.
Yes, he's pleading his case for how he tried to end the game.
And you can say and I'm kind of on the coach's side here because in basketball you can just kind of wait till the time runs out, but in baseball the other team has to get an out somehow.
Yes.
You think
You can't make an out for them.
Right.
you think the other team's like just bunting the ball every time?
Well,
They're not running to first base, but we've seen little league teams who are so bad that they can't even throw to first base. Like that's the situation
Sure.
here.
Yeah.
The guys can't even throw to first base.
He said he tried to get the umpires to pull the plug on the game, but they said the teams needed to play a regulation 5 innings. So they began swinging at virtually any pitch that came their way. By the end of the game, 82 runs had crossed the plate. After he had some time to reflect, let's see. He regretted not making his players bunt more or take third strikes, but beyond that, there was little he could do.
Yeah, there's low you can do,
Yeah.
right? Now, if you're the other team, though, I think next year you schedule again, and you do some retaliation. I mean, this is when high school baseball needs to police
Right.
itself.
This is what steroids is for.
Get this, though. There's going to be a rematch. The coach said, I was sick to my stomach then, and I'm still sick about it. The game never should have been played, and believe me, we've exhausted every option within our power to keep what happened from happening. They were a very young team and seemed very content to just be there and playing baseball, but that was an experience I never want again. The teams will play again on May 19th, the second phase of a home, and Caravallo said he'll play his junior varsity players for the rematch.
You know,
And they'll win 50-0.
And this, apparently there's a record of this. Per the Herald, it's not the worst beating in high school baseball history. That distinction belongs to a 109-0 thrashing in Iowa back in 1928.
They got records going back then. What
of
the-
high school baseball.
You know, every now and then there's shady stuff in high school ball, and I believe Matt, you shared with us,
Or just high
that,
school in
that
general.
you've done that you were part of a baseball team doing some little shade and stuff because of the team you were set up
Yeah,
against.
you were telling we were playing the model or Model, I think model School to Death, and our guy on first base wasn't get the sign to steal after the sign was sent multiple times, and so after a while, coach just said, "Hey, steal," and the other team, being deaf, couldn't
Couldn't hear.
couldn't hear them shout it. But apparently, there's different levels of deafness, and there's reading lips, and so they got really offended that we would shout our signs across the field. So yeah, there are some unwritten rules, and for that, I think we should have gotten a ball in the ear. But the problem with a game like that is that was our coach was at fault, and you can't throw a ball in the ear of a coach.
And-
It's
and-
challenging, the fence in the way.
And I feel like a deaf team would never throw a ball at an ear. Like it's kind of like they value your ear more than you do.
Or like
I think actually it's appropriate. It's appropriate retribution.
An
for
ear
it.
for an ear.
or a guy in South Africa would never kick you in the crotch. I got one more here.
All right, one more story.
You guys familiar with Evan Mathis? He's a former NFL player. Was a lineman for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now retired, but the guy is an
I'm more
avid.
familiar with Evan Gaddis, catcher. But anyway, go ahead.
This is Evan Mathis.
Okay.
Mathis. He's an avid collector of sports memorabilia, and he was the proud owner of a 1952 Topps rookie card featuring New York Yankees legend Mickey Mantle, which I know when I was a kid collecting baseball cards, that was the
one everyone wanted.
one everyone. I'm thinking of the reference I'm supposed to make here.
The hot fire.
The creme de la creme.
Sure, the creme de la creme, what have you. That's the one you could look up in the Beckett Sports
I
Magazine.
thought it was Honus Wagner was the one everyone
Well,
wanted.
they were the two.
Okay.
Honus Wagner and Mickey Mantle, 1952 rookie card. Anyway, Evan Mathis, the avid collector, sold his 1952 Mickey Mantle rookie card near mint condition at an auction event this past week. His windfall narrowly missed the record $3.12 million paid in October 2016 for the exceedingly rare 1909 card featuring Hall of Famer Honus Wagner. So Honus Wagner card fetched $3.12 million in 2016.
For a baseball card.
This Mickey Mantle one that Evan Mathis sold at auction went for $2.88 million.
Oh my god.
The Mantle card had earned a 9 out of 10 rating from professional sports authenticators. Higher ratings generally translate to higher price tags, which makes sense.
So the better the card is, the more money it makes.
Absolutely.
All right.
They feel like they could have left that sentence out of this article.
Right.
I think the cards are still a big deal, huh? This makes me want to bust
I
up
don't-
my old card. I got a Jeff Rebele 1997 Jeff Rebele Topps card.
I got
in 9 out of 10 mint condition. Do you think that would?
I got a whole stack
Okay.
of some Griffey rookies. Are Griffey rookies worth anything?
I think only the 89 Upper Deck one.
I probably got that one. I was a big Griffey fan. Who wasn't?
Yeah.
But I grabbed a bunch of Griffey cards. I always wanted the Cal Ripken rookie, the little three
I have one.
person. I always
have
wanted one of
I don't know
those.
where it is.
Never got one as
Are
a kid.
kids nowadays into baseball cards as much as we were into baseball cards when we
I
were
don't know.
kids?
I don't.
Girls are not.
Yeah, girl.
Maybe when my boy gets older.
I don't know.
But, I mean,
Are
is
they
the
shop?
market, Is the market size for cards
No.
now the size it was when we were
No.
kids?
No, it's way down.
Yeah.
It's way down.
Mathis didn't reveal how much he paid to acquire the Mantle card in the first place, so I don't know if he.
Because it was a fake. He faked it.
No, he got a 9 out of 10, which means it's generally translates into higher price tags. I'm sure he made money on that. though.
Yeah, I'm
There's
sure.
no way he paid $2.8 million, but somebody did just pay $2.8 million for it. So,
I would like to have one of those baseball cards. Or just the money to buy one of those baseball cards.
You think they buy those cards now as an investment? Like, is he going to buy that as an investment and then
Yeah, I don't know.
sell it in 20 years?
yeah, I got to think it only appreciates in value, something like that. Not a Jeff Rebele 1999 Upper Deck card. No, that's worthless.
Not yet. I'm going to keep holding on to it.
See, the reason those are so valuable is because there's so few of them. They're so rare. Everybody's got Jeff Rebele cards in their basement somewhere if you just looked hard enough.
Right. Right. That's what it is. When we were kids, they made so many baseball cards.
Yeah, I got boxes and boxes of them. I would take on the challenge. I can show up here next week with a Jeff Rebele card.
One of my favorite, not one of my favorite, just a funny reference. Teddy Beanbag Bagwell.
Mm-hmm.
He was the guy that what was it? I forget. Corey Matthews' brother, Eric. He brought in Boy Meets World.
All right.
Was it a baseball card or no, an autograph of Teddy Beanbag Bagwell, and he paid like $20 for it. But he's about to set the record for most beans ever. He was 2 beans away for setting the record, so he's gonna resell it as an investment. But then with the second to last bean, like it was a bean to the head, and it ended his career. So he didn't get to reinvest it, resell it. So
There's no truth behind this. Is just
No, it's a TV
storyline
show.
of the sitcom.
Yes.
yeah.
Like
Yes.
there wasn't really a guy.
No.
Okay.
No.
I mean, it's because
But-
it's
but
not
that-
that funny to make fun of.
No, this is
Concussions.
This is
Yeah.
concussions. That was back before concussions were such a serious issue.
It was back before concussions weren't funny,
Okay.
or back when they were still
You
funny.
can still make jokes about getting beamed in the head. But now it makes me wonder. You need to buy a baseball card or something of someone who's about to do something great, and then you can resell it. Who's about to do something
Oh, I
great?
thought you were saying someone who was about to die.
Yeah, but then you end up with a whole bunch of like Greg Jeffries
Right.
cards.
What do you? Yeah, you're going to go get Manny Machado? How are you going to surprise people if someone's about to get great? Everybody knows he's about to get great.
And everybody and their mother's gonna have one of their cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then tell me why Altuve was cut from 4 different baseball teams before he finally caught on with the Astros.
Yeah,
huh?
but by the time you knew who he was, what are you going to go collect high school baseball cards?
I think-
How are you going to find out before everyone else?
the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the roster of that team that just won 87-0.
The old Rochester Boys
Because
Club.
they probably got some players on there.
Old Rochester. I think it was just high school. I don't know why I called it a boys club.
Can you imagine? There's probably a guy walking away from that game with like 30 RBIs in one game.
You know what's worth something is if you had the scorebook from that game, because that's a record that hasn't been touched since 1928, according to high school baseball
yeah,
records.
it would.
Who's got that scorebook I won from 1928?
It'd be. That's one of those stories when you're like 50 years old, telling your kids, "Well, that's good that you got 3 RBIs. One game, I got 30 RBIs in one game," and the kid's just making fun of his dad. Like you guys don't know how sports work.
Call me when you get 40 RBIs.
Right? Exactly. He's,
No one. See, that's
It's-
that
it's-
story. No one.
you know what it
that
is?
story.
Uncle
You'll have to pull up the
Uncle Rico was on that team.
Couple of comments from the chat rooms. Of course, people did not like our comments about animals, about dogs.
Dogs. It's not animals. It's just dogs.
Yeah.
Jonathan says, but dogs are so awesome, and then some kind of sad emoji. And then Spencer says, can't trust people who don't like dogs.
And I liked his comment. I get it. And I like other people's dogs, but
Dogs-
there won't ever be one in my house.
And dogs do not belong in the stadium. All they do
Another
is
guy recounts a story about how his dog almost peed on the field.
Exactly.
In Norfolk when he was running around.
exactly. See, and I thought that was only you.
Well,
all I know is I'll be real mad if I get to our seat in section 334 and there's a turd in my seat.
I stepped on a turd in the middle of Home Depot on Saturday. I was so mad. In the middle of Home Depot. What is that doing in Home Depot?
I'm just glad that we've used the word turd twice in the one episode.
I was in Lowe's and I saw 2 dogs in there. In Lowe's.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
People think they can see their dogs everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem with dogs.
We got
Yeah.
the problem with
You keep
dogs.
your dog locked up in the shed in the backyard.
Right.
That's supposed
I used to not mind dogs, but people have ruined dogs.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with dogs. It's their owners, right?
Can we?
and Jonathan also reminds us a theme we didn't talk about: yoga at the yard. Do you guys have any interest in yoga at the yard?
I have no interest in yoga, whether it's at the yard or not.
No, not particularly. I mean, I don't have a problem with yoga. It's
I
just
mean,
not for me.
do we all have to wear yoga pants to go to yoga at the yard?
Oh,
Wouldn't have a problem with that.
I would not have a problem with that either.
Actually, yoga at the yard could be more entertaining than the Orioles at the yard.
I've never worn yoga. Have you guys ever worn yoga pants?
No.
Is that a thing guys wear? Or no?
No.
Guys don't wear yoga
I
pants.
don't know
No.
why somebody hasn't started it though.
I'm
mean,
sure
it
they
makes
have.
sense. I'm sure they're
I mean,
comfortable.
guys who do yoga wear yoga pants, right? Or no, they just wear sweatpants.
I think you can do it if you have great legs.
I feel like my body is pretty good for yoga pants.
My body is a porta potty.
A couple other comments in the chat room. Michael says on opening day, Jones got a pie in the face. Hasn't been one since.
That's true.
Yeah, and that was and wasn't that a shaving cream pie too?
Yeah.
Opening day loophole.
Yeah, it was a shave and cry.
And they didn't win another game for another week.
And then Jacob says, "Sorry, I'm late, guys. Didn't know you were starting early." That's on Josh.
That's on Matt.
I thought it was on you, Matt, because you were the one that said you couldn't do 7.
What? Matt? Matt, who tells us at 5:00 I can't come in the studio today. That's what it's on.
Do you know what it is, guys? You guys don't understand this because
I don't
you guys
know.
don't have
I'm
any kids. Oh, yeah,
I'm
you do.
googling the 8 best yoga pants for men to buy in 2018.
Sometimes
The Lululemon Intent joggers are the best overall yoga pants for men.
are they baggy though, or are they like yoga pants?
They're saying they're soft, sweat picking pants
Yeah.
are the ultimate yoga to power.
Sweat wicking?
No, this says sweat picking.
I think they're using the term loosely of yoga.
I think
pants.
these are sweatpants.
Yeah.
You were saying something, Matt?
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes I forget that I have a kid, and so
Okay.
like I knew my wife was going to work,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was just gonna come do the podcast here, and then I was like, oh crap, what am I gonna do with this kid?
Yeah. You can't just leave them at home.
Yeah.
Not till they're like 12 or something.
Yeah. So I often still forget that I have a little human being I'm responsible for.
Yeah.
And then it hits me at 5 o'clock, 2 hours before the show. Oh, what am I going to do with this kid?
You know, can we bring it back to baseball a little bit?
Sure.
Because I want to get into Manny Machado.
I
but,
want to get in some more Bert stories.
I
You
know.
have more notes over there?
But I was thinking about there was something big that happened Friday night
yeah.
during the Oriole game that we didn't really talk about.
Trey Mancini.
Trey
getting hurt?
Mancini getting hurt.
Yeah.
And what's the deal with that 6 inches of no padding underneath for the brick? Is there a reason for that?
I would imagine
Is
there's
it-
a reason.
I work with interior designers a lot, and they do a lot of stupid things because it looks good. Is that what we've got going on here? Did an interior designer mess this thing up?
We mess it up. I mean, in 12 years, no one's cared at all about it. But now all of a sudden, one person gets hurt, and it probably won't happen again in another 50 years.
You mean 25 years or whatever?
Oh,
you
yeah,
could say the
25
same thing
years,
about
yeah,
the
25
rubber.
years.
Yeah, about the rubber mat.
On-deck mat.
One guy slipped on that.
Yeah, I'm saying they're going to do something about it. Who cares? Leave it there. Because it's going to be another 100 years before someone gets hurt on it. So I don't care.
25 years.
Okay, if it hurts somebody once every 25 years, I don't care about it. But fine, everyone make a big deal about it and do something about it. I don't know. Cosmetically, can you see it from? I never even noticed. And
Yeah, you can.
either.
I didn't notice
You
either.
can see it, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Is that how all stadiums are? I don't know. There's a lot of questions about that.
Every stadium's different. And that's one thing we've learned this year. Like in some stadiums, you can run into the tarp and still catch it, and reach behind the tarp. So that's just weird things about baseball, I guess.
Yeah, I just hope that they keep saying, well, he might be back tomorrow. He might be back tomorrow.
I think because every test they do has came positive. Like there's nothing wrong
Yeah.
except
Is he a strawberry?
for punctures. He had punctures.
I mean, he had stitches.
he did
broke skin, huh?
Yeah, he had stitches.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'd be out for the year if that happened to me.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And he hobbled off. Like it would be like, bring out the cart. Bring out the cart. I got a boo-boo. Bring out the cart. Well, that's just me.
I don't even want to look at the stitches, or I'd be out for another month just from looking at them.
You play in center field. You walk over there, pass out. You
Right.
both got to come out of the game.
It'd be like, he's getting the stitches out tomorrow, and then he'll be ready to play. And then I just look at the stitches, and then another month, put me on for another 30-day disabled list. But the stitches are out. I know, but I'm still sick from looking at it. I can't get that picture out of my mind.
Yep.
Would you?
It's-
Do you want the Orioles to tank at this point?
No, not at this point.
Not.
Do you have a? Can we play Derek Jeter talking about tanking?
Yeah.
Do we have this clip?
Do you have it?
I don't.
available?
I don't have that clip
Okay,
ready.
I can hold it up
Can-
with the mic.
Do you have the quotes?
I mean, we don't have to play it, but it was just interesting on HBO. Derek Jeter talking about tanking, and this is something that
Right. He was on Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel.
I think is tricky for ownership and management to say.
Normally it's a
trying to
NBA
lose.
conversation.
Yeah, but now I mean,
What is not tanking?
Tanking is not trying your hardest to win ball games every day.
We're trying to win ball games every day.
If you trade your best players in exchange for prospects, it's unlikely you're going to win more games
True.
in the immediate future.
When you take the field, you have an opportunity to win each and every day. Each and every day. You never tell your team that they're expected to lose. Never.
Not
Now,
so-
you can think, now, I can't tell you how you think. Like, I see your mind. I see that's how you think. I don't think like that. That's your mind
No, I
working
get
like
that, but I guess not in so many
But
ways.
you don't. But you don't get it.
I do.
You don't. We have two different minds. I can't wait to get you on the golf course, man.
Is that a threat?
I like how his conclusion is that you have because you think that your mind's weak. Like you just have a weak mind.
Yeah.
for
Right.
thinking
You
that.
don't understand what I got
can't-
going on
I
here.
can't wait to do mental jujitsu on you out in the golf course because the way you think. I mean, what a load of crap that is. And Derek Jeter, and this is why people are already. Can we do a couple of notes about people who are saying I saw a couple people tweeting out after Manny Machado another 2-run home run game. All that, two-run home run games in a week, and still is only the co-player of the week, but whatever.
2 solo home runs.
Right, 2 solos.
Yeah.
You
Didn't-
said 2-run home runs, but he hasn't
Right.
doesn't have any of those.
Didn't help his team win.
2 solo home runs in 2 games in a week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, four home
four
runs
RBIs.
and 4 home runs
Four
in 4.
RBI, yeah.
Isn't it 4 home runs in 4 games?
Yeah.
Something like that.
But
meanwhile, the guy in Old Rochester saying, "Call me when you hit 40 RBIs
yeah,
Manny
That's
in
fair.
one game."
But people are saying, well, now trade Manny because his stock has never been higher. Couple things here. Number one, you don't trade people in April, so his stock
Will go higher.
his stock is really non-existent right now because no one knows who's a buyer or who's a seller.
In reality, it was a lot higher around this time last year.
If he continues,
Don't say it's never been higher because it has been higher.
I think it will never be higher than is right now. With the
Yes,
quote.
moving forward.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't think that's true either because there's no buyers in April.
Right.
So you have to have buyers to have then be
Right.
be sellers. Though I think if he continues to play like this, I think it will have the value that he had probably last year, equal
Sure.
to if not greater than last year. Because remember last year first half he really struggled. This year he's gangbusters.
Right.
But the other thing is, before you go ahead and say you want to trade Manning, you want to trade Scope, because this conversation, and you want to say Britain, because this conversation is going to happen. We don't have to have it now because we have plenty of time to have this conversation, but it's going to happen. But before you do that, stop using the Cubs and Astros examples, and maybe talk about the Marlins for a second as an example, because I think that's more a reflection. I mean, the Marlins are done. The Marlin fans are fed up with that franchise.
Oh, certainly.
They're done. They're fed up.
No, Marlon Mann is done with that franchise, isn't he?
Yeah. He's trying to sue him.
Yeah.
And I think Oriole fans are a little bit too, when trade everybody, get a bunch of prospects, and then we'll be good again, are too naive with this whole
Yeah.
thing. It's the same
We've been
people
there.
who complain about Dan Duquette all the time, like this management sucks, Peter Angelo sucks, yet he's doing like the most simplest thing for any GM to do, like keep the status quo. What's really hard to do in a GM is to go all in, right? Use the right pieces, maneuver the right pieces to go all in,
Right.
or to do the opposite, to rebuild and kind of start from scratch. Those two things are really hard. What's easy is just kind of maintain the status quo. And so if you think Dan Duquette sucks and Peter Angelo sucks at maintaining the status quo, but you think that they can do a rebuild perfectly and right and turn into the Cubs or Astros, like, you're insane if you think that. And so a little dose of reality that A, no one gets traded in April, so we're not selling in April. Stop saying it. And B, even if but this is not a video game world where you'll get a bunch of top 100 prospects and you'll be good in 3 years. This is not how it works in reality. And that means you would have to trade for the right guys, develop the right guys, and have them actually turn into good major leaguers. All are huge ifs.
Especially with the Orioles.
With its history, yeah. With the
Right.
Orioles.
Because we're really good at developing.
Yeah, and another thing that bothers me on Twitter now, I'm off Twitter now. I can't go on it because it annoys me so much. Even when good things happen, I'm annoyed. Like the Mancini, like the Machado home runs. Why is it every time Manny Machado does anything good, someone has to tweet? Actually, everyone has to tweet something about him either leaving or about how we should pay him the money. Why can't we just kind of enjoy Manny Machado,
Enjoy the moment.
doing what he does without talking about next year all the time? Like, I get it's an important issue and we need to decide what to do with Manny, but can we just for one freaking second enjoy a home run?
Because
without
it's
talking
the
about how
internet.
he's gone already?
It's the internet. People like to be negative. All right, Manny Machado at shortstop. It makes no sense, as Bert mentioned before. It's crazy from a team perspective that you would try to put multiple players out of position like that to appease one person. Am I crazy that I think the only reason they're doing that is because someone in the warehouse thinks that they actually have a shot to sign Manny Machado? Because if you don't, I'm not saying I think they have a shot, but someone, Dan Duquette, Brady Anderson, Buck Showalter, Peter Angelos, John Angelos, what's the other guy? Lou Angelos? One of these guys, someone must, it could be two ways. Either they really believe that they can sign Manny and they want to keep Manny happy at shortstop, or has Buck Showalter lost control of this team and Manny Machado's gets to play wherever he wants? Is this the players doing whatever they want?
I think he called the shot. I think Manny called the shot.
I mean, yes, Manny called the shot, but why is it allowed?
I mean, I think it doesn't have to be either. I think it could be. This is insane, but maybe it's best for the team to have Manny Machado at shortstop. Is that possible? That you get more opportunities at shortstop. You can have a bigger impact on the game at shortstop. So you want your best player playing shortstop. Is that possible?
Except you
And
didn't
it's
have a
also what
third
Manny
baseman.
wants?
You didn't have a third baseman.
It was always going to be his position when J.J. Hardy left, right?
Yes, that was
Right.
always the plan.
But then it was poorly planned to not have somebody else ready to play third base.
Right. If that was the plan, and you have Mike Moustakas sitting out there in free agency, why didn't you call him? He was a third baseman sitting out there forever.
Because we have Tim Beckham under contract for the next 3 years.
And that's a tough conversation to have with Tim Beckham after you had an awesome year for us.
An awesome month.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his numbers at the end of the day, they were still good.
But
He
all
really
right,
struggled
fine. A good 2 months.
Right.
He was still only here for 2 months. You know who's playing third base for the Atlanta Braves?
Ryan Flaherty.
Until today, when they said Ryan Flaherty is going to now be back to the bench because they have signed Jose Bautista as their everyday third base. Just because you're good for a month doesn't mean you're the everyday third baseman.
I saw they signed him for the minor league. They called him up.
They're about to call him up or
That's
something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that says that the Orioles think they have a chance of signing him. And I also don't think, like, because you're giving a player what the player wants, that means you lost control of the locker room.
But Manny moving to short hurts your team. Because
I
Beckham
I
knew
don't think it does, but okay.
Was Beckham a better shortstop than a third baseman?
He was a subpar shortstop. See, you're acting like he was J.J. Hardy at shortstop.
No,
He had flaws at shortstop. He was not a great shortstop.
but he's worse at third.
What in the 3 weeks he's been there? Yes.
And he's trying to play second base tonight.
Yeah.
He's bad at second
so he
base.
can't even get in a consistent position. So how is Tim Beckham supposed to get good at third when you have to move him around all the time?
No, I'm not blaming him. You know, and
No.
Tim Beckham's a likable guy and all.
No,
that,
it all
but
comes down to not having a plan
Poor
to
management.
move Manny to third.
But from JJ, and you're right. Even when JJ Hardy got hurt 2 or 3 years ago, Manny moved and played a lot of shortstop.
Mm-hmm.
The plan was always for Manny to eventually move to shortstop. Now that it happens, you guys are all like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
Well,
But
again,
it
it's
was always the plan.
Poor planning,
Well,
though.
it's-
Then what's Tim Beckham doing here?
Right.
Why did they sign him for 3 years if they knew Manny was going to play shortstop
Because-
next year?
Here's the problem. The problem is Manny leaves after this season. Who plays shortstop next season?
Tim Beckham.
Then what was the point of teaching him to play third base?
Well, now you actually have flexibility. If he turns into a good third baseman, you could make him a third baseman or shortstop. So you have the flexibility to go out there and sign a
But
shortstop
don't tell me that Beckham
So they fell
Beckham
backwards into
right.
a good
Don't-
plan that they weren't planning on in
Yeah.
the first place.
Don't tell me that Beckham wasn't good enough last year to be your everyday shortstop, so you're moving Manny, but that Beckham will be your shortstop next year after a year at a different position. It's poor planning.
I think that this team is better with Manny Machado at shortstop. But even if they're worse, and even if this was run by Manny Machado, and I know you guys don't like to think about this, but this is the day and age that we live in with sports.
No, this
Where-
makes LeBron a jerk.
Where the athletes are more important than the coaches. It's just the reality of it is. Manny Machado is more valuable to this team, sorry guys, than Buck Showalter. And you hate that because you love Buck Showalter so much.
Oh, I don't hate
But,
that.
but
No,
the
this isn't-
players
You're
are
right.
more valuable than the coaches.
Yes.
It should be.
Yes,
Who cares who the manager is?
but the
That's what I'm
players.
saying.
Nobody buys a manager's jersey.
Exactly.
But you know what?
Agree.
But what's more important than how Manny plays is wins and losses. Your team winning is more important than your player hitting solo home runs.
And does having your star player being happy playing the most important position on the field and having him happy and he's playing, as we talked about, lights out,
Yeah.
doesn't that help you win games?
He's had some struggles at short.
Oh,
He's playing well at the
he's
bench.
also made
Is
some
it- all right,
amazing plays at
Is
short.
there any coincidence that Manny moves to short and your defense goes to crap as a team?
And Jonathan Scope's hurt. Yeah, that stuff, all that stuff.
Yeah,
hurts your
scope
defense.
hurt does hurt. I will give you the scope.
And we have a Rule 5 guy player in right field every night. And Trey
And Trey
Mancini just
Mancini-
went down.
And
And,
Trey Mancini, when he's out there, is not.
And Chance Cisco can't catch a pop fly in foul
Oh,
territory.
how
But he
irritating
can
is
throw runners out.
You
how
can
it-
do that. That's been fun to watch.
right. All this time we didn't know that Chancisco's problem was pop flies when we heard he was poor defense.
Would you trade bad at pop flies for gunning out runners trying to steal
Yeah,
bases?
I don't care about pop flies.
I would, but here's how you fix it. Chris Davis runs up there and gets it. Beckham runs up there and gets it. You just don't let you know what? Maybe you even let a pitcher once in a while catch a pop fly. You fix it by don't let Chance go after pop flies.
But this is normal stuff. I feel like the first one was there was a gust of wind. Like that ball was moving because of the wind. I mean, it's not like he all of a sudden lost. Like that ball was like 10 feet away from him. And the other one was that fell. You're talking about this happened a week ago, but let's talk about it. That fell between Cisco and Beckham, and that's the two guys who haven't played with each other. One guy who just dropped a fly ball, so he's feeling a little bit self-conscious. The other guy not knowing. So I mean, those things happen, especially early in the season where there's a miscommunication. So I don't put any stock in. I think it's just a weird thing. And if he drops another pop up this entire season, I would be surprised.
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those weird things in baseball.
It's these cold weather games in April. That's what I keep saying.
I do think cold weather is bad for baseball. It's bad for the fan
Unless
base.
it's October.
We all hate seeing the players all bundled up. There's no way the pitchers are gripping the ball as comfortable as they're used to it.
I'm intrigued by it because it has been that cold as a fan going to games.
It's
you see them dressed like ninjas out there, but it's the same exact weather. It's going to be in October when the best teams are playing. So
but here's why it doesn't.
If you can't play well now, you're not going to play well in October.
It doesn't matter in October
What are you
because
talking about? It only matters in October.
no. The difference is in October you are amped up. You are in your best condition. You've been playing all season, and you have more breaks in between games. In here, you're seeing in April, and you're seeing more games in a row that you're playing in the coldest weather. What have we played? 20 games? 25 games? I think 2 of them have been above 50 degrees. It's been ridiculous.
Baseball players are the biggest sissies. I mean, who cares? Play in the snow. They do all the other sports. Toughen up.
Yeah.
Well-
How cold do you think it was when Old Rochester just beat Cristo Rey up there in
Correct.
Massachusetts?
It's cold for both teams.
Yeah.
Playing the same
You
conditions.
didn't hear them crying about how cold it was? They beat them 82-0.
No,
No.
I bet the other team was crying about the cold.
I told you guys on Friday night, I've got the solution. Everyone thinks domes is the solution. That's not the solution. The solution is we replace all those big LED lights with giant heaters. So we just warm up the entire place.
I was saying play the first month of the season at the spring training complexes.
No, I'd say why not take the month of April, and for the month of April, the Orioles go do all the West Coast teams. And they play down south, and you have some long stretches on the road the first 2 weeks of baseball.
Well, they try to do that.
If you try to do that,
Yeah.
the Orioles have played at home at
That would
Houston.
never fly. That would never fly because
At
all
New
those
York
West
to-
Coast teams would lose out on home games towards the end of the
Yeah.
season just because they're in warmer
It's
weather.
not balanced and
It has
fair.
to be balanced and equal.
You just gotta. How's it? Baseball schedules are anything but balanced and
Just-
equal.
I don't understand, Josh. Just wear a jacket and wear a hat and toughen up.
That's what I do.
All right. But I don't see what the problem is.
I'm just saying
It's
it's
been
not.
an unusually cold,
Yeah,
cold
I know.
period, too.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the leaves to come back on my trees.
Just wait till global warming hits.
I thought that was here. I thought that this was the point.
No, this is
Just you wait.
this is just climate change, which will be followed by global warming, and then
Or the Ice Age.
and then we'll all be or the ice age. Let's hope for global warming in terms of baseball, though. Hey, year round, pretty soon. All right, Bert, you got anything else in the show notes that we missed out on that we need to talk about?
No, we've tried to talk less about the Orioles sucking this
Yeah.
week.
Not really. Any update on Danny Farquhar, Chicago? They
That's
say he's like
scary.
in critical condition.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That's scary.
It's-
It reminded me of remember Dave Dravecki breaking his arm
yeah,
in the middle of a game. Turns out he had cancer or something.
yeah, that was ugly too.
Anyway, yeah, that's no.
Those freaks injury happened. Yeah, with these.
Well, you don't.
What's that?
Yeah,
What's
especially
like-
someone with a brain.
Yeah, aneurysm. Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
that's crazy. So yeah, we hope he recovers.
Absolutely.
And on that note, on that downer, let's get out of
And
here.
let's hope the Orioles recover.
Right.
would
Would
you
you
rather-
rather have an aneurysm or be playing for the Orioles?
Who should be the starting catcher right now? Chance Cisco, Caleb Joseph. A
Chance
lot of
Cisco.
people jumping off the Caleb Joseph bandwagon and turning it into Chance Cisco,
Yeah.
who I was told over and over again by the reporters that he's the backup catcher.
Right.
Even though he's better than the starting catcher.
I'm a Caleb Joseph guy.
No, but if
I-
they're really tanking, it should be Chance Cisco every day. Get him all the experience he can get right now.
Now, if you're really tanking, you want a high draft pick, so you play Caleb Joseph every day because he's worse.
And I'm saying you play Caleb Joseph because I think he gets more out of the pitchers and gives the pitchers more confidence. And I don't know if that's real or anything, but I always think Caleb Joseph helps the pitchers.
I think the first three pitchers in our rotation have enough confidence. I think it's the other two we need to worry about.
How many more starts do I have to watch with Chris Tillman?
Kit and Caleb Joseph isn't going to do anything that's
Did you-
going to help Chris Tillman.
Tillman did on what, Saturday? All Tillman did was earn a few more
It was
starts.
so frustrating. I wanted him to blow up so bad.
What?
I want to give up 100 runs.
Four-
'Cause
four-
then we'd never see him.
Well, the problem is
That was the
four
worst case scenario.
runs, 6 innings is better than we've seen
I
from
know.
Cobb, right?
That's the worst possible outcome of that game.
Well,
worst
that,
possible outcome.
and that's something. Hopefully, he's building on that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, next
Either
time.
he builds on it. I want it one way or the other. Either build on it or completely blow up.
Right? Yeah. None
I
of
want
this.
you gone.
Right. It's this lukewarmness. You
I
can't
don't
be
want-
in the middle.
5 runs in 5
Either
innings
good or bad.
is a disaster. Don't give me 5 runs in 5 innings.
Right.
Give me 15 runs in 3 innings, or give me 6 innings of 3 runs.
Yes.
All right, boys and girls, thanks for listening. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, write us a review on iTunes. You can follow me on Twitter at Section336. You can follow Bert.
At Bert Rohde.
You can follow Josh.
At Josh Soroka.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's.
Thank you for listening to the Section 336 podcast. Please go to iTunes and Facebook for all complaints or the occasional compliment. If I were you, I would not take any baseball advice from these guys. Josh and Matt were raised by an Orioles-obsessed father, and Bert fell in love with Don Mattingly. He has a thing for mustaches.
I meant to mention that I got a reply and a like from the official Diamondbacks Twitter account.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
The official Orioles Twitter has never
I meant
liked
to
me.
think something about your hat.